Good evening. Welcome to the 34th episode of Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. The topic that we have to discuss is why hustle should be your mantra. First, though, I do want to make a couple of announcements. The first one is if you are in North Texas and you would like to socialize with some other writers, I would like for you to join me, along with a bunch of other people that are pretty awesome, at the monthly happy hour put on by Writing Workshops Dallas. And I'll be partnering up with them pretty soon, so I look forward to seeing you if you would like to join us. They meet the first Tuesday of every month, so the next meeting is going to be August the 6th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Wild Detectives in Dallas. So if you plan on attending, you will see me there. I'll be there for sure. For more information, make sure that you check out the Writing Workshops Dallas monthly happy hour link on rachelpilcherwritingworkshops.com. So, next announcement. Let me scroll down. I've had to use my laptop because it provides so much better use of notes, and I can see it much larger than my iPad. So let's see. On Thursday, August the 15th, as Sleeping Panther Press, I will be joining up with journalist Edward Brown of the Fort Worth Weekly to co-host an event called Writer's Block at Leaves Book and Tea, and that's in Fort Worth. So just a little description of what Writer's Block is as part of the Near South Side's third Thursday Casual Art Walk series. Writer's Block will feature photograph portraits of prominent local writers and writerly quotes from Fort Worth journalists, bloggers, and editors. I actually have a quote that's going to be shown up there, so I'm excited for some of y'all to come out and check that out. So for more information, check out, I've added a new link. It's called Rachel in Person, because I will be in person and I will be chatting with people. So come and see me there, and you can find that link on the Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops .com on the website. Sorry, I'm trying not to block out too much. My computer was updating for about 3 hours today, and I'm really glad that it's all working well here. So, for the topic of today, the topic is hustle. So hustle must be your mantra, and this can be as a writer or as any other type of work that you're doing. But especially if you're a writer, hustle should be the word that you keep repeating to yourself. I must hustle, I must hustle. I believe that hustle is the new hunger. So they always said, you have to have a hunger for it to make sure that you can get it done. Because if you don't have that hunger, you're not going to feel like you're really going to be progressing. But it's the new hunger because you have to have that drive to keep moving forward with your work. So here is why hustle should always be on your mind while you are working on your writing. The first one is you have to hustle to complete your work. So either through writing it, editing, critiques, rewrites, readings, more rewrites, and so on. You have to keep the hustle going so that you constantly move forward in your writing. That can't be emphasized enough. It must be done. You have to hustle to get it done. If you don't hustle, then it's just not going to happen. The next one is you have to hustle to build your platform. So while you're doing that writing, you have to build your platform. Now, if you remember from a couple of episodes ago, I talked about your platform. That's basically your online presence or how you're promoting yourself on things like social media. So it could be, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any other kind of chat rooms that you could possibly be on. Your website is part of the hustle. Your face-to-face meetings through conferences or happy hours, kind of like the one Writing Workshops Dallas, or other social gatherings that would have writers or publishers and such that would get you to where you need to be as a writer. So you have to have that hustle. You have to build your platform, get it up, get it going. Whatever it is that you are including in that. You don't have to do everything, but you do need to work on some of it and then work on that and make that really good. So have the hustle to build your platform. Next, you have to hustle to get published. So publishing just doesn't happen. It's like you finish the work and like, oh, I'm going to get it published, and then all of a sudden it's done and it's ready to go. Now, there's a lot of work involved in getting your work published. So to hustle on that, that means that you need to start meeting, once you get all your drafts done and everything, meet with literary agents if this is your first time around. I have a cat outside my door. You can probably hear. She's looking underneath the door. There's a paw. So meeting with literary agents if you don't already have one. Meeting with traditional publishers. Sometimes you can do that without having a literary agent, but it's a lot easier to go through an agent because they already have that relationship together with the agents. Or if you're independently publishing yourself, remember, independent publishing is what self-publishing used to be, but you don't call filmmakers that make their own films self-filmmakers, they're independent. But you have to have the hustle to do that. You have to get out there, you have to make it happen, because it's not going to happen if you aren't hustling to make it happen. You are going to be, hustling through after you get the publishers to pick it up, or if you're independently publishing, you're going to have to hustle through those edits. You're going to have to work on all of the extra work that it's going to take to make sure that your book is perfect. And it has to be met, the deadlines have to be met on time. So you have to make sure that you are hustling, especially at that time, because then it's not just you that has to make sure that the hustle gets made. You are actually going to hold up other people if you aren't working to get your deadlines met on time. So it's just a little bit extra hustle at that point. Next, you have to hustle to promote your work. It's your published work. Once it's published, you have to work to get people to read it. So going back to number 2, you have to hustle by promoting yourself on social media, in face-to-face meetings, with bookstores or non-traditional booksellers, which that would be an interesting topic. Places that you could sell your book that isn't a bookstore. We'll talk about that soon. But going to conferences, that is one of the places, actually, that is a non-traditional place to sell your books at a conference. Holding signings, sending out copies for reviews. As a writer, you do have to do that. You do have to make sure, even if you are traditionally published, that you send out copies of your book for review. Now, I know with Sleeping Panther Press, one of the things that I do is, with my authors, I give them 10 complimentary copies of their book. So this is if I've just published them as, standalone books. So like Heath Dollar got 10 copies, Richard Gonzalez got 10 copies, and they get those 10 copies. They can purchase more if they want, but they have 10 that's right there. Now, ideally, with those 10 copies, they would use those to send out to people to review. And I'm thinking that's what Heath and Richard did. I don't have control over that, but that is what's suggested that you do with the copies that you get that are complimentary copies. You send out for review, but you have to hustle because you have to figure out, well, who do I want to review this? Who would make the best impact on putting a review out about my book? So there's that. That's part of the hustle because you have to do the research on that. You also need to just make sure that you don't assume that your publisher is going to put a whole bunch of money into the promotion of your book. Yes, they published it, but they do hope that that you have that hunger and the hustle to get out and do what you need to do to get your book seen. Some of them do put out some things to get promotion. Like one of the things I do for promotion is, I hype it on my business pages. I make sure that it's prominently displayed. Sometimes I will send reviewer copies out to people. Just if I know someone, I'll say, hey, here's a book, you might want to read it. Give a review, please. I also create postcards and bookmarks and different things that are just, free handout things, not free for me, but free for the authors or free for myself to hand out. But like I said, I pay for that. But you have to hustle to get the word out about your writing. And if you're in a literary journal, sometimes it's good to post a link to that. It's good to share other ways in which you've been published, put it on your website, do all kinds of stuff. Create a portfolio, a digital portfolio, so that you can share that. That goes back up to number 2, your platform. So make sure that you're doing that. You may want to hire a publicist, whether you're traditionally or independently published. I can tell you that if you are not an A-list author with a publisher, you're probably going to be doing just as much hustle to promote your book for a traditional publication as you do if you independently published it yourself. So a publicist can always help you. But make sure that you're getting someone who knows the industry, knows the people that are going to be most likely to be able to put out good word about your book and can reach the best audience. And you have to look at that as, yes, that's going to cost you money, but it's better sometimes for you to pay someone that knows how to do that than for you to spend hours and hours and hours of your time working on something that you don't really know a whole lot about. So a professional publicist is worth their money if they're good. So you can always ask around, go to some of those socializing events and find out, well, do you have a publicist? What did they do? How did they do it? Are they realistically worth what you pay them? Yes, definitely. Esty, hi. I noticed you popped up. Hi, I'm glad to provide you the information. Yes, it is an investment, but it is an investment that's worth it, because I know there are a lot of things, especially at this time in my life and in my career, I kind of look at it and it's like, well, is that worth my time? Is my time worth more than what it would take for me to do this? So, definitely consider that. It would work. And you don't want to just say, talk to a friend and they're like, oh, well, I could be your publicist. And they don't know anything about doing any kind of publicizing, or they have no contacts, or, they don't even work in the industry. They just want to do it for fun. Look for a professional, or at least someone that also has a hustle that is up and coming and is really trying to work into that, because they may be a little less expensive, but they have, newer means of finding people that can help you than, sometimes even some of the more advanced publicists. So, one last one. Okay, so the last hustle, and it's never really the last. Hustling is a cycle, and this is why it's a cycle. You must hustle to write your next book at that point. So while you are doing all of that other hustle, you need to also spend time working on your next project, because it is a cycle. And if you don't want to be just I have this one book and that's all I have, kind of a writer, or even in any other kind of work, you have to hustle to get that next thing going. And a lot of times, it's like after you finish writing, maybe whenever you are in the, I'm looking for a literary agent stage, or looking for a publisher stage, you're working on that next book, because that's when the hustle is real. It is a good thing for you, but you're still making it happen. And it's getting that flow back to where it just continuously cycles. So, in writing, as in with most jobs, and writing is a job, it's a passion, but there's a lot of other jobs that are passions. You have to constantly work on it to make it happen for yourself. So, I hope the information that I've provided you tonight is useful. If it is, make sure that you click on over to the like button. I like the hearts too, but the thumbs up works as well. But feel free to share this video with any friends or family that you think might benefit from my words of advice tonight. Also, if there is a topic that you are interested in hearing more about, I will definitely be willing to look at it for future episodes. So either mention it in the comments or message me at Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops on Facebook, or you can email me, rachel@rachelpilcher.com. So thank you tonight for joining me. I look forward to visiting with y'all in 2 more weeks, which will be on Sunday, August the 11th, right here on the Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops Facebook page for another writerly discussion. Y'all have a good evening. Bye.